While these labels can help a person identify their sexual orientation, there are many myths and stereotypes that go along with these terms.
You know, you have all these stereotypes about gay people. You have stereotypes about gay youth, that they either commit suicide or they're off, you know, having promiscuous sex.
Every homosexual man is a potential child molester.
Like my straight friends, they'll see like gay guys, be like, oh my God, watch out, they'll try to like get in your pants.
There's a myth that gay adults like myself want to recruit gay youth, and that's just not true.
I was sent to therapy to overcome my phase, the phase that I'm going through. My therapist was really great. She said that my mom should actually get checked in therapy, and I'm not the one to be there.
It can be really detrimental to a youth's and an adult's sense of well-being. You know, that it can increase the likelihood of suicidality. It can increase the rate of depression, anxiety. You know, that it can be really detrimental.
No, I want to like broadcast it, that there are Christian people, there are Jewish people, there are Muslim people. I know a Muslim gay group, that people who love their faith, whatever it is, and are completely out.
All I know is I'm faithful and I'm religious and I believe in God in it. So God loves me, and I don't think God really is that concerned of if I'm gay or not.
Lesbians are seen as bulldaggers, diesel dykes, a mannish woman, a truck driver.
If you're lesbian, you're butch, and if you're gay, you're femme.
I don't particularly act effeminate, I don't have a high voice, I don't do this.
A lot of people come out and they think they gotta act like all girly. And then some people come out and then they kind of don't want to. They want to be who they are, they want to just stay that way. And then there are some people who actually have very feminine mannerisms.
You know, we shouldn't be ashamed of our gay brothers who are more feminine, or, you know, our lesbian sisters who are more masculine. You know, they're part of the community. They're not the only part of the community, and the media needs to show that. But they're part of us, and talking about that as negative, that's what I think needs to be changed.
We come just like all human beings in every size, every description, every flavor, as we're just as diverse as any group.
The music a person listens to, the way they act or dress, does not determine whether or not a person is gay. This is something people have to discover for themselves.
I always knew it, but I never really acted upon it.
The first time I admitted it to myself, I think I was about 17 or 18.
I didn't come out until I'm not even out right now.
When I first came out, it wasn't really so much of me weighing the benefits or not, it was just, this feels like I should be doing this.
I think coming out it's really important to realize that it's not a single event, that it's a progression of coming out, you know, and that it happens in a lot of different stages.
While not everyone follows the same path, most experts agree that there are 6 common stages in coming to terms with your own sexual identity.
The first stage of coming out is confusion. I mean, it's that time when you know you're different, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And I think that happens more to little kids who are realizing that, you know, they live in a world of heterosexuals. Their parents are heterosexuals. Everybody you see in the media, you know, straight couples, but somehow that doesn't feel right.
People never told me how I was supposed to feel watching certain shows. Like, I didn't even notice myself that when I watched Baywatch, I was more interested in the guy getting out of the pool in a bikini than the women running down the beach with their breasts jiggling, you know? And I didn't understand that I was more attracted to Aladdin than I was by the princess.
And I kept having infatuations with girls that were in grades older than me, and so I would follow them around, and my heart would pitter-patter when they talked to me.
I like to envision comparison as the end of the closet. It's when you start developing the words for homosexual and developing an understanding for what it means. It's a phase of self-recognition where you start understanding that this is probably who I am, and what does that mean to me? Like, how am I different from heterosexuals? Is there a way I can change that? Is there a way I can resist it? You know, is there a way I can deny this part of myself? Or is this something I should embrace and move forward? Is it safe for me to embrace and move forward with this?
Like anything that had to do with like the idea of like homosexuality, just like really, it frustrated me because I wasn't comfortable with myself. And I was trying to be something I wasn't.
I made myself this person, like, you know, like I like these girls, I want this girl, I can get any girl I want, you know, that kind of thing. And then I just wanted to uphold that, I wanted to keep that. For some reason, something told me that, for some reason I thought that I was a lot happier in that person than who I really was.
The phase of tolerance I see as the first actual coming out phase. That's a phase where you have more tolerance of yourself as homosexual and begin the disclosure process and start coming out. And that everybody experiences that differently. Some people do come out to their parents first. Some people come out to their friends first. Some people come out to a total stranger first who they feel safe with, or a teacher.
It's important because, gosh, you're coming out. And I know that sounds really silly, but you are making a step. You are going into the spotlight and you are telling folks, friends, family, that, hey, this is me. And if you've never done that before, it can definitely be very empowering, just like, this is who I am.
I think the day that I stood there and I turned to my boyfriend and I said, I'm bisexual, I hope you're proud of me. That was my coming out point.
I'm out to some members of my family. I finally told my best cousin, like, basically. And it was weird because it felt just like really good to just let someone know.
Acceptance takes a lot more, and I think the acceptance stage is also the stage of socialization, where you start hanging out and seeking other homosexuals to have more of a commonality develop, a greater understanding of who you are as homosexual in comparison to other homosexuals instead of as opposed to heterosexuals. So, you know, you develop this greater sense of acceptance by understanding your own history, your own community, talking to other people who've gone through what you went through and being just like, wow, yes, you know, I remember it was so hard and I didn't know anybody and, you know, what was I going to do?
For me, meeting people in the community was a life preserver. I mean, it saved me. It saved my sanity, definitely.
By getting support and being less isolated, you know, you really get to feel a sense of understanding, a sense of authenticity of who you are, and also, you know, to really feel like it's okay to exist.
Pride sounds like a good stage, but really when we look at the Pride stage sociologically, that's a time where all the past shame of being in the closet kind of takes a reversal. This happens in ethnic communities as well, when you start over-identifying with your community. You know, when you reach the Pride stage, you only want to hang out with other homosexuals. You look at the other, you know, heterosexuals as bad and homosexuals as good, and there's a lot of anger for everything they've gone through in the past, for having to be made to be afraid of themselves when it was so much better, apparently, to be out and comfortable with yourself.
It's just a frustration with other people who just don't get it.
The synthesis is the final stage for a development of your own cultural awareness. It's where you're just comfortable with who you are, that you don't need to define yourself against anybody else. You can be gay and just have straight friends. You don't need so much outside verification to feel that you are truly homosexual, or, you know, you are who you are. You can just be.
Like before, if you knew me, I was very like serious and quiet. I didn't like talking very much. And then when I came out, I just started acting a whole lot different. I started being myself, and it felt really good.
It was like this huge burden lifted off my shoulders, you know, and now I can finally admit that I love who I love, and I don't have to walk around lying.
You know, my coming out was such a wonderful experience for me as an individual that I really thought everybody that I felt close to, my family, my good old friends, would be as happy for me as I was for myself. And then I was wrong.
Because sometimes you come out and you lose friends and your family doesn't accept you. And of course you see that like in front. It's like, it's right in your face. It's very emotional for you. But then eventually you get over that. You're like, well, this person really wasn't my friend, to not really accept who I am. And then like my mom, I'm sure she loves me, but she just has a hard time accepting it.
Despite the rebellion of adolescence, you love your parents. And the idea that they will reject you, throw you out, not love you anymore, blame themselves, it's all very real. And it does happen. But you know, the parents get over it. Because the truth is, you know, if you love your parents a lot, chances are they love you too a lot. And they may go through all those negative phases the same way you went through all these other phases growing up.
You know, isn't it interesting that we expect other people to accept who we are the minute we tell them, whereas in reality it had taken us years to figure it out.
I wouldn't blurt it out. I would think about it. I would take time. I know many urban cities have centers, and if you do utilize it, there are people there that are there specifically for these issues.
The internet's a great source. There are all kinds of supportive groups on the internet to find people who can give you support on your journey, especially if you're in a small place or a town that doesn't really accept gay people. Find other ways, but tell somebody and get advice and support from somebody who knows what it is to live proudly as a gay person and in a healthy way.
There are many places to find help and support. There are hotlines where you can have safe and confidential counseling over the phone. There are websites where you can get more information, find local groups, read other people's stories, or even share your own. There are also many resources for friends and family. Coming out can be a difficult process, but in the end, with support, you can be free of deception, be true to yourself, and have more honest relationships.
I know for myself, my best experience coming out was to my little brother. You know, that was the closest I've ever been to my brother, and it's such a beautiful thing. You know, especially when you grow up fearing all these people who are going to reject you for this. And to find out that not only they not reject you, but they love you even more. It's just such a wonderful feeling. You know, that goes beyond anything else because you expected it to be so much worse. Wouldn't exchange it for the world.
You know, here's what's really interesting. Gay and straight people actually have very similar issues. They just look, the details are different, but the issues are the same. You know, self-acceptance is an issue across the board. Whether you're gay, straight, young, old.
It's all you. It's your inner person. And just be yourself and be comfortable. Be happy.
Acknowledging that you're gay is just sort of the beginning. It's the birth pang. After you get over all that suffering, you begin to form who you are, and you're so much happier with who you are afterwards than you were beforehand.
Fall in love and like who you want to like, and don't listen to your friends or what the gay community tells you, and just be happy to be you.
You know, it can be an exciting way of living. It can be a fun way of living. It can be a rewarding way of being.